Chef Johnny Iuzzini has been named one of the 10 most influential pastry chefs in America by Forbes, and also the best new pastry chef by New York Magazine. So that's pretty heady stuff right there. Yeah. All right, so what are they eating there, Chef?
Not enough.
This is a play on pavlova. You know, the new book that's coming out, Sugar Rush, is all about going back to basics. You know, so many generations have passed now that people aren't growing up baking with their families. You know, I didn't learn how to bake from my mother or my grandmother. They all worked. So this new book is all about really going about the fundamentals, talking about what is a meringue, how many different types of meringue are there, how do you make them, and what do you use them for. So this book is all about that. So this is a nice, light, summery dessert, a crisp meringue, a pina colada pastry cream, some caramelized pineapple, and, you know, so all the flavors of the summer in my mind, or at least of a summer vacation.
Yeah. I have never in my life had anything like this in my mouth.
Okay, you know what? I just heard in my ear, you know, it's really quiet in the counter, and now I understand why. It's because you guys...
I have never done it. I've never tasted anything like this in my life.
These are all classic flavor profiles and combinations. It's just a matter of, I like to kind of play with things and change textures a little bit. I like, instead of just using raw pineapple, I like to really caramelize. That's what I need you for, actually.
I'm going to do that. And Marky, that's why you were...
Really, I've never had anything like this from the way...
That's why he was named one of the best chefs ever. And okay, so...
so I'm going to start you out. I'm going to start putting your pineapple into our hot skillet here, our griddle. It's like a grill pan.
Yeah.
So you can keep going with that.
All right.
Meanwhile, I'm going to start making the pastry cream.
Okay.
Essentially, the pastry cream is coconut milk and pineapple juice.
Wow.
Is that sweetened coconut milk?
That's not coconut water, coconut milk. But no, not meat, just unsweetened cream.
Okay, great.
So while that's heating up, I have an egg, some egg yolk. There's an amazing backstage chef here named Haley.
Oh my gosh, she's amazing. Let's hear it for Haley. Where is she? Yeah, Haley. Yeah. Haley, hail to the chef, I always say. Okay, there's our girl.
Haley's back there, and she whipped up our meringues for us ahead of time. Obviously, that's something you want to do ahead of time. We use a French meringue, which means everything goes into the mixer in the beginning, versus a Swiss meringue or Italian meringue, so you kind of mount it up little by little. How are we doing over there, Chef?
I'm looking. I think they need a couple more minutes. Yep.
So in my pan here, I have an egg yolk, salt. Almost everything I do in the pastry kitchen has salt in it, and not necessarily to make something salty, but without the salt, you would taste a difference. You know, it's a flavor enhancer. So cornstarch and sugar and salt all go in here together.
Now, is it because baking is really more of a math, right? You got to get a science to it.
There is.
With this as well, like you've got to have the exact amount.
And yeah, that's funny you bring that up, because I'm a huge advocate of I hate measuring cups and measuring spoons. Like I despise
them. Don't you need to do that for baking?
No, everything I do is to the gram. So in the books we do offer both measuring cups and spoons and by weight. But in all our professional kitchens, we were huge advocates of really working to weight. If I was to give everybody here a measuring cup and say, give me a cup of flour, and then I measured every one of your cups of flours, it would be a different ingredient. So imagine you have a recipe now with 7 different ingredients. So now 7 quantities that are going to be different across the board. So there's no way it'll be a consistent product every time you make it. So,
but if you weigh it.
There's no variance. You're taking out one less variable that could go wrong in the baking kitchen.
And this is why he's one of the greatest pastry chefs.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's so true.
Wow.
I learned too at pastry, because I took a course in pastry. I'm not like him, but I took a course, and they told us when you're measuring the flour to take it and put it in the cup and not to dip your cup in, because then you get too much.
If you're going to use a cup, always scoop with one container into another and then level off.
Right.
Never compact. Never.
Right.
So what I've done is called the liaison. Is what we did. We heated our liquid. We combined all our dry with our eggs, and we temper the hot liquid into the eggs and then back in. That way we prevent it from curdling.
Now, let me ask you something. I mean, your parents, you said you did this at home. This isn't your typical, like, I'm going to bake a cake and bake cupcakes and put frosting on it. You had to really put a lot of thought into these different recipes that you made.
I started out as a pot washer, because I come from a family. I grew up upstate New York that essentially we didn't get allowances. There was a bunch of troublesome kids, all of us brothers. So they said, they try to get us, like, we're not giving you allowance to go get in more trouble. You go get a job. So I started off as a pot washer, worked my way up to dishwasher. The high school I went to offered culinary classes, so I started taking them. I started competing at an early age, and then it went from there.
I love how there's something below dishwasher. Work day way up.
You have to thicken that, and then what happens?
So you bring that up to a boil, it comes to a full boil, we'll whisk in some butter and Malibu. You always want to add that at the end.
Now, why do you add the butter at the end? Chef, is this okay? Can I take these out?
Let's just turn.
All right, let me take. Can I take them out?
Yeah.
All right. Do you need anything out of the refrigerator, or do you have everything?
I have everything I need.
All right.
So our pastry cream would go in there. Always when you make a custard, you want to put plastic wrap directly on the surface to prevent the skin from forming.
Did you know that, Kim?
Oh, right.
Did you know that, Kim?
It's funny, in Europe they love the skin, but here I don't like skin on a pudding. It drives me crazy, so that's the way to do it.
By the way, Kim just acknowledged that. Goes, oh yeah, that's right. You don't want the like. She hasn't any.
Yeah, she hasn't.
I do.
She's like, what?
All right, so we have the meringue here. Now, what are you?
So this is the pastry cream that's been lightened with with just whipped cream. These are, you want to always do the pineapple again in advance a little bit just to let them cool so they don't melt your cream. Go around in a circle.
The pineapple almost has like a creme brulee topping to it.
Yeah, you're caramelizing the natural sugars in the pan.
Yeah.
I'm not normally thriving to be one of those people who like stands at the mall and passes out samples of food to people on a stick.
Yeah.
I would do that with this and be like, you've not tasted anything.
You would?
I would.
I can't wait to taste it. You guys.
It's gone.
It's like a summer vacation in your mouth.
A summer vacation
in your mouth.
It really is. You have to. This is remarkable.
This tastes like the Caribbean.
Is this something Mark can make at home? He's into.
Yeah,
there's no way I can.
Yeah, this is
Mark,
super
you could.
easy. It's super easy.
hard.
So the way we're going to finish this, I just reserved a little bit of the regular pastry cream at the end.
So good.
And I'm just going to kind of spread this around.
So beautiful.
And that's just going to act like a kind of a little bit of a glue.
How do you
Wanna make
cut
sure
that,
this is straight?
Chef? It's like.
Yeah.
Carefully,
you just
carefully would be the way.
Like a hamburger.
Like a big hamburger.
Carefully, you just take a serrated knife.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Carefully with a serrated knife, you want to go through the meringue. And that's it. So this is something that's great for the summer. You know, it's a playoff of Australian pavlova. Light, airy, crispy. For me, every time I think about a dessert, I want something that's crispy, something creamy, something acidic, something sweet, something sour. So think about all the different flavors we have in there. You know, we have the caramelized flavors. Everything
That
is in there.
chewy part got me immediately.